Personal data and information are some of the most sought after information by scammers and other fraudulent sources. They gain access to this information by using ransomware and other tactics that falsely inform unsuspecting victims or falsely portray themselves as trusted sources. 3 out of 4 Americans admitted to being targeted by spam calls within the past year. That number has steadily increased during the pandemic, with more than 4 billion robocalls made during January 2021. Those who fall for phone scams lose an average of $182, but some lose as much as $500. In 2020, $19.7 billion was lost due to these calls. These scams have led to 94% of Americans saying they let unidentified phone calls go unanswered. One of the main ways scam callers fool their target is by spoofing. Spoofing is the act of changing your phone number to fool and misinform those you are calling.
Caller ID spoofing in itself is not illegal, okay? What is illegal, though, is caller ID spoofing for the intent of committing a fraudulent act.
These callers use either a local number, someone else's number, or even the target's own number to misinform the target and trick them into answering the phone. Once the target picks up the phone and answers, the scammer continues to misinform them and pretend they are someone else. The most common of these scams are for your car's extended warranty, an issue with your social security number, or that there is an arrest warrant for you. This misinformation is used as a scare tactic to get the victims to give away their private information. Out of fear, victims give their address, social security number, bank information, and more in order to avoid the trouble they are scammed into thinking exists. With spoofing, these scammers can seem so real that even the chairman of the FCC has fallen for one of these scams. In order to combat these calls, the FTC recommends downloading call blocking apps, searching your phone's built-in spam filters, and seeing what services your carriers offer. Even without these scams, having your phone number available to the public is a major security concern. With just a phone number and no additional information, people experienced with technology can find private details about your life.
Just a few minutes. That's how long it took this guy to track down intimate details about our producer.
And that was all with just a cell number.
Just a cell number.
We blurred out most of the images, but he found reams of information.
I found her date of birth, I found where she went to school, for family history, what properties they own, what parking ticket she has. This is the street view of her house right now.
And all of it without even knowing her name.
A security risk?
It's a huge security risk. Nobody wants to change the cell number today, and so cell number has become an integral part of your identity. And that's where the problem starts.
Facebook even fools their audience into believing having a phone number connected to their personal account is more secure than not. This is extremely misleading because while it may allow Facebook an extra layer of authentication to help ensure nobody besides the owner of the account can log in, it also allows anyone on Facebook to find your personal details with solely your phone number. Your name is not needed in order to find your account and any information on it. Not only can scammers easily target you with a phone call, but they often target emails as well. These false emails are referred to as emails phishing. Scammers often misform their targets by creating emails with realistic-looking logos and headers to trick their target into clicking on a link or opening an attachment where they can attempt to get personal information. According to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, $57 million has been lost in just 1 year due to phishing. In order to provide protection from phishing, the FTC passed the CAN-SPAM Act. This act sets rules for commercial emails and establishes penalty for violating these rules. This act covers all commercial emails. Commercial emails are defined as, quote, any electronic mail message the primary purpose of which is the commercial advertisement or promotion of a commercial product or service, end quote. The act also covers business to business as well as business to consumer emails. There are 7 main requirements of the CAN-SPAM Act. The first is you cannot use false or misleading header information. The second is you cannot use deceptive subject lines. The first 2 directly fight against misinformation through emails. The other requirements are you must identify the message as an ad, tell recipients where you're located, tell recipients how to opt out of future emails, honor those opt-out requests promptly, and monitor what others are doing on your behalf if, for example, you hire an outside company to manage your emails. Every separate email that violates one of these requirements is subject to penalties. These penalties can be up to $43,792, so misinforming others over email can be extremely expensive. Another way scammers can access your data is by posting spam to social media. These posts are deliberately misleading and prompt unsuspecting victims to give out personal information as a way to avoid whatever threat the post makes. In fact, nearly 95% of content that Facebook flagged or outright removed were spam posts. Email phishing and spam calls not only affect individuals but companies as well. A dangerous type of malware called ransomware can be found in these fishy emails. This is not only dangerous because it can lead to data breaches, but also because the person who sent this ransomware can demand a ransom payment for reversing the damage done. These breaches affect companies and platforms that have millions of users, and it is one of the biggest concerns regarding privacy of data. These data breaches lead to loss of trust among the users of the platform. As seen with Facebook, users often cite the lack of protection for personal data and information as one of the top reasons for leaving the site. This has a fundamental impact on how the social media landscape is set up currently. If Facebook no longer dominates the social media world, what will take its place? Will it be more secure than Facebook? The threat of ransomware and other spam is one of the biggest concerns regarding cybersecurity. The threat is not overstated, as 82% of Americans now view cyber terrorism as the greatest threat the country will face. The loss of personal data of spam or ransomware will prove to be one of the biggest challenges to having a secure experience on the internet. This data is accessed by scammers falsely informing or falsely portraying themselves to victims as trusted sources. Knowing how to combat will be key in making sure their personal data is safe and secure no matter what website you are using.